hello everybody from California. Sorry I couldn't be there, but I was asked to give a few comments. So here's my comments from California, sitting on my home with my dog under my feet. The comments are from the past as a founding member, as a past president, and a past general secretary. Why did I join and help initiate IVETA? Well, I remember sitting at a round table room in the back of a conference room at the Los Angeles Convention Center 30 years ago at what was then the AVA, or American Vocational Association. A number of us sat there, and we'd been going in meetings, international meetings, that were buried inside what's called the New and Related Services Division of AVA. It just wasn't the way to give enough visibility to the important international activities in technical and vocational education. It wasn't focused, and it wasn't sustainable. So a number of us just sat down and said, we've got to do something about this. So I was asked to draft a constitution, which I did. We came back the next year. A number of us worked on the Constitution and so on, and we had the general meeting, and it started 30 years ago. So that's kind of the starting point, and a couple of quick reasons why. Lack of focus in the U.S., lack of sustainability on talking to people in other countries and sharing good ideas. What about the products and services of IVETA? I think they're all important, but different people would want different types of activities, and I think that's why we need a range of products and services. The website's fantastic, thanks to Ohio State, the National Center, excellent updating and so on. I really like it. And that's kind of one of our, is now our key communication device. When we started, of course, we didn't have that, or a very poor one. The electronic hotline is also, I think, extremely important. It replaced the newsletter, of course, because now we had a good website, and it really didn't need a written newsletter, which was really out of date as soon as it was written. We have a range of international and increasingly good regional conferences. Those have, again, fit a different clientele, especially the regional conferences. The microgrant program, of course, is focused only on developing countries. It is useful. There's not much money in it. A number of us put seed money in it, but I think it should continue because it does stimulate some key research in Sudan, in Botswana, and a number of other places. Lastly, the journal is an excellent international quality publication. I think it helps set IVETA a little bit apart. I know the amount of effort that goes into that, and I think the increasing focus of making a topic for each journal is critical rather than just a collage of articles. I keep all the journals, and every once in a while when I'm working on a topic overseas, I go to that journal because that topic is treated in depth there. So I think the key thing on the products and services is keep them all, but one thing I would mention, about 4 years ago, we did a survey of members on these products and services. I think that needs to be repeated, and you know what was the most used and interesting service? It was the hotline. Next question, what would I add or delete? Again, I don't think I would add or delete any service, but again, I'd mention this survey and the hotline. The key on the hotline is it should have content highlighting key things are going on in TVET, plus administrative. It shouldn't just slip into being an administrative announcement tool. The other thing about the hotline, it is an active way of going to members. It is not passive. They don't have to do anything. In other words, we give them something every month or two. But I know, as I drafted these when I was the president, these took a good half day to write as I collected things from different people over a couple of months. But I think it's very important that one is content and administrative. I think we do need to be careful with the regional and international conferences. I'm not negative. Too many, or conferences that are not well run, following the guidelines which are clearly established, don't work. And they only can lead to a certain group of people, especially the international, They are very expensive to go to. That's again why I think the regional conferences are an excellent thing, because that focuses on a region, often a country. What would you do to increase and get more participation? Again, I go back to the hotline. It is an active thing, way of contacting members and giving them content. I think we're not making the best use or getting the most out of our regional conferences. We get very good attendance from a country or several, but then there's very little follow-up in terms of membership. And I understand the reasons for this, but I think the swing toward more institutional membership, because institutions come to these regional conferences, is good, and everybody gets a free membership. We collect more money from non-members at these regional conferences, and we need to target something aggressively toward those and see if we can keep 10 or 20% of those new people that come just to a regional conference, and we don't lose them. I know that's difficult, but perhaps that's a job the General Secretary should do. How do you target that group, which we only hold for about a year, and we need to hold more of them? Lastly, on getting more participation, I think we had to work with other organizations. The ILO has regional offices. We used to get a lot of activity. Asian Development Bank. The Vice President of this area should get a contact there. Inter-American Development Bank. Latin America. Some of the bilaterals. The African Development Bank. Work through these other organizations. When I was at the World Bank, I always let key people at the World Bank know about the regional conferences when we had them, and those people were working in Africa or Asia. Same with the Asian Development Bank when we go to have a conference there. We have good contacts with the EU and ETF. We're picking up some other places as well. What about revenue? A key thing on revenue, of course, is more members. So I go back to the regional conferences and the follow-up there and linkage with other institutions to get them more involved. And that's really, again, a job for vice presidents in their area to get a hold of the, especially bilaterals and multilaterals in their areas and the ILO offices. On the website, I think, what about selling ads on the website for some of our institutional members, ads for services? There's nothing wrong with that. Most websites, that's how they generate a lot of their revenue. Put out some simple parameters and sell different size ads on our website. That would do it. So that's about all I've got, I think, in terms of why we started, some of the comments on the products and services, what I would add or delete or strengthen it, how I would get more participants, and so on. But I'd like to thank you for the opportunity of talking to you. Send me electronic mail message. Of course, my electronic mail, everything is on the members list in IVETA. Joel Magasos kindly has agreed to send a video, and I think he'll have some very, very interesting comments. I did track down our very first president, Quince Francis. He was unable to send anything in, but he remained supportive and interested, and I think Ken Morrison has sent something in his stead. But Quince is alive and well in Jamaica. I'd leave you with this flag. That's something Joel Magasos did at one of the very first meetings. All the executives, people and so on got an IVETA flag. This is a 30-year-old flag. Joel, thank you very much for doing this, and I keep it on my desk as I go. Good luck at your conference, and I'm glad I got this chance to visit with you. Thank you. Goodbye.